What's up, everybody? All right, welcome to part 2 of mastering the pentatonic and the blues scale. We're going to get into the second position of the pentatonic and the blues scale. Make sure you go through part 1. That is where a bulk of the information, a bulk of the musical information and the musical language really is. That's what's going to make your solos so much better. Once you get that, we can apply all of that information to the next positions. And in this case, we're going to be talking about the second position. So let's just learn the scale here really quickly. We've got 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10. Now, what makes this one a little bit more difficult in all the rest of the positions, a little bit more difficult than first position of the pentatonic, is we don't have that sort of all the way down 5s backbone. Now that's in A, so obviously that scale is movable, but that first position, we're really lucky because that back end of only the 5s makes it a little bit easier to handle. This is a little bit more difficult, but if you notice, all we're doing is we're taking this back end and then the top end of our first position. The top end is all the 8s and 7s. We're just making that top end now the back end of second position, right? So that also means the note values are the same. So if you look back and if you've gone through, the first phase of this, you'll notice that that's your root note, it's your minor third, right? And then you have your 4 and your 5. So just starting right off of there, my minor third, my flat 3 is exactly where this scale starts. Right? And then all of these notes, all of my 8s and 7s are exactly the same note values, whether they're neutral, whether they're tension, whether they're our root note. So let's go through the scale according to the musical note value. So we've got our minor third, 4th, 5th, flat 7, root note, minor third, 4th, 5th, flat 7, root note, minor third, and 4th. Okay? So to split this up a little bit and to make it have that musical language, that ability to play the solo the way that we want it to sound, let's just play the top half of the guitar, the top 3 strings, okay? So we have this, minor third, 4th, 5th, flat 7, root note, minor third. Now you'll notice, just like in first position, the notes sandwiching in the root note are the tension notes. So here, that root note's the same as first position, right? My 7th fret of my 4th string. Now it's just on the back end. So I have my 10th fret on the 4th string as my minor third, and my 10th fret on the 5th string is my flat 7. So those are my tension notes. So let's just focus on the top half and getting a little bit musical in that way. For the sake of it, let's do the same thing with the bottom half of the guitar. So if sort of going from the bottom string, I've got my 10, 8, 10, 8, and then 9, 7. All right, let's do a little playing around, building some tension and resolving. Let's see what happens. Right? Not too hard to visualize. And like I said, we do sort of utilize that little section of the second position a good amount while sort of improvising in our first position pentatonic. So not too bad. Now, where we could take this, where we could take all of the positions of the pentatonic, and how we're going to do this is, can we bridge between those two seamlessly? Now, how that's going to happen is just pick a lick, and I'm gonna throw out a whole bunch here, that you can now go from one position to the next without it sounding drastically different, okay? So let's do this one. Now this is gonna have the blues note in there. It's gonna be bent up, but if I take this, my 7th fret of my 3rd string, and I bend it up, and then play it, and then my 5th, give it a tiny bit of a bend, and then my root note. That's it. Nice and easy. Now in 2nd position, I got it right up there. All right, now let's do a few more of these. What if I do the actual slide in the blues note? Right, now we're starting to sort of make this musical where we're not losing our musicality of the 1st position into the 2nd and 3rd, which does happen a lot. Okay, what if I bring it down here? Right, and you can really use those 8s. Just that 10 is just taking place of this 5, just like down here. You know, this, the only note that I'm playing differently, like sort of tablature-wise, is just this 5, because that 5 is not in this position. So it's just... Let's just really quickly, I'm going to interject and just go over the blues scale. Now, the first blues note in this position is a little strange, but bear with me. Here we go. We've got 8, 10, then the blues note is 11. Or 8, 10, and then the blues note is 6. And then we've got 7, 10, 7, 10. And then here, 7, 8, 9. 8, 10, 8, 10, and then if you wanted that, 11. All right, so we've got some options there. This is not that hard. Right, in that position, it's just this one gets a little strange, whether you want to do it at the 11 there or the 6 there. But just throwing that in there. Right, now what I would want you to do is kind of come up with your own, whatever it was that you were playing in 1st position, can you move that to 2nd position seamlessly and make it just as effective, just as musical? Can you build the phrases that you want? Do you want to do the tension? Do you want to do a neutral? Do you want to end that phrase and come back to the root note? That is where we want to be now. And then if you guys give me till next week, I'll come out with the part 3, which is just going to go through the rest of the forms. So you can sort of see that, like, you know, learning that 1st position and all of the musical vocabulary in that 1st position, whether it was the blues or the pentatonic, that's like sets us up. Now we're going into 2nd position, so we're trying to drag that musicality into 2nd position. Once you get that, learning the other positions and putting it all together is going to be a snap. I appreciate you all staying with me, and I will see you guys next week.